That was DRX versus DAMWON Gaming, game number 2, and DAMWON Gaming tied up the series by winning this game number 2. This time, Chobi played Silas. Twisted Fate got banned out in the early phase of banner pick, so that was one of the options open for DRX. DAMWON Gaming went with a very confident Zoe pick, and DRX completed their comp with Silas. Silas is a really good champion into the DAMWON Gaming playstyle because they are always open to have fights all around the map. Kwan was pretty sure that this angry showmaker will show something on Zoe, because he doesn't really believe that Silas is not a really good pick into Zoe, because the hijack ult doesn't really mean anything or doesn't really get a lot of value away from Zoe. In general, DRX, they have a very high burst damage in the team fight. So it was a huge clash between two teams that really love to fight. But we had a lot of huge accidents happening all throughout the lanes in the early phase. As Peter mentioned, yeah, we had a huge fight and very extended one around this blue buff. First, DAMWON Gaming, they spotted Trundle with this Ash Hawk that he was coming down for this blue buff. And Zoe was the only mid laner who can roam down to the mid lane. Zoe had the mid lane priority, so he was shoving in the wave. So Ash, he also pushes lane really hard and instantly opens fight as he hit level 6. I mean, this is a huge win trade for DAMWON Gaming, and Zoe came for a potential turret dive, and knowing that Trundle is in a really close proximity, he doesn't really extend forward to that. But they were keep zoning out Trundle away from this blue camp, because a lot of DAMWON Gaming players were having a huge priority in lane, and also Zoe was already in this jungle. There was no way for Pyosik to actually just hover around that jungle. Well, it is true that Kennen had a lot of CS lead, but he already used his TP to come back to lane, so Nuguri had the TP priority as well. So there was no reason for TRX to stay in that position and extend the fight. They could rather just escape away from it. DRX was being a little bit emotional, answering to the entice coming from DAMWON Gaming. Later on, we had a very surprising outplay coming from DAMWON Gaming. They were earning all the possible lead in all 3 lanes. So DAMWON Gaming, they spotted Keria recalling to base. So they were maybe counting down the recall timer and then thought that Aphelios will be alone in lane. This was a very risky turn to take, but anyway, Vero just jumped in with his ult. But it was actually turned out that it was a 2v2 fight, but somehow Vero picks up a kill on Aphelios. That was a very risky play coming out from Vero, but ended up being an outplay. And then look at this Chobi moving forward and looking for a kill onto Ghost for so many times. It is actually really critical for Silas to miss one of his ability during a fight. So as he missed some of his ability, he could have just backed and returned to his base, but Chobi once again was being a little bit emotional, looking for a kill onto Ghost for several times, but Ghost just casually sidestepped away from all of his skill shots and then actually got a turn around kill onto Silas. It was a very bloody and stylish fight coming back and forth from DAMWON Gaming and DRX, but DAMWON Gaming was the one that got all the wins. And the POG will be Showmaker on Zoe, as everyone would have expected. 20 KDA in this game. Showmaker, he used to take Unsealed Spellbook and use TP to give a lot of pressure in the mid phase of the game. By this time around, he was airy and ignite, which means that he's gonna have a lane kingdom and have a control all around the map based on his prowess. With this aggressive rune choice and also spell choice from Showmaker, we can actually read that DAMWON Gaming, they were really looking for a very bloody and volatile game. And look how Zoe used his flash for a potential engage. That was a really bold and stylish game performance coming out from Showmaker on Zoe. It goes also the master class of kiting up against Silas in the bottom lane. He also was able to pick up 2 votes for this POG from the media voters. Then let's check out the final winner of game number 3, the Decider 1.
Thank you so much, G-Sun, as per usual, for the translation of the analyst desk. And yeah, let's find out who's going to be able to take this one. So far, it has been blue side victories abound. But it does feel like DAMWON have been the better team so far today. And the DRX stole away game 1. DAMWON came back with a vengeance in game 2, largely behind their mid laner. But it's been a tale of 2 mid laners so far. Chovy absolutely smashing game 1 on his Twisted Fate, was absolutely brilliant. But yeah, you can't really fault good old Showmaker when he brings out the aggressive rune choices on his Zoe in the mid lane.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to be seeing that Zoe again unless Chovy wants to play it.
Yeah, first pick Zoe's.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen that here. We've kind of went towards, you know, 80 carry / something that can be flexed a lot for first picks, but definitely a very interesting draft to take in this time around and see exactly how they're going to mix it up. I think DAMWON might ban TF again. We'll have to see.
Well, they went back to their Pantheon first ban, and I don't blame them for that one.
Yeah.
Ezreal taken off the board. Last time, Trundle and Varus were the follow-up bans here on DRX's side. Ezreal, Nidalee, and Volibear were the DAMWON red side bans. And Varus will actually be the second ban on the side of DRX. I find this really curious. I mean, it is still first pickable, but not going to be happening. And it's once again the Nidalee.
Yeah, they're going to take that one away, which is pretty interesting. I think DRX has shown a lot of priority onto the Trundle, so maybe you would have even want to let them, you know, go ahead and pick it up first and maybe just counter, but I'm not sure if DRX would fall so easily into that trap. We still have a lot of good stuff left available. The set this time is going to be taken away. Remember, Nuggery played that in game number 1, had a great game of set, so they're not going to let that one slip through. Obviously, it can also be, it's very flexible, especially for DAMWON because...
Oh yeah, it goes everywhere, right?
Yeah, pretty much anyone on that team can play it, so I do like that ban.
Twisted Fate, a likely ban here. Volibear was the ban in the first game, and I think that Twisted Fate first pick was very valuable, but no, the Karma going to be taken off the board. Now Doran can go towards that TF if they want to.
I think we're just going to see TF here again, unless they say we can make Aphelios work, and they try to force that, but I think that's dangerous.
100%. I think that's a trap. As Volibear got through, and it was first picked in game 2, and now first picked in game 3. Maybe the bear is going to be the difference maker here. DAMWON with a lot of options they can look through. The pool of 80 carries is up. I wouldn't expect something like an Aphelios out of them. Twisted Fate should likely be removed.
Yeah, I think if DRX are going to pick Volibear over TF, you just go ahead and take that one. Showmaker obviously has played a lot of TF in recent times. He's 3-0 on the pick. And we saw it just the last time against Freaka, where he was part of the reason they were winning so easily. What are we going to see here? Are we going to see the follow-up into the jungle or something else? Looks like maybe the Kalista to be taken here.
Yep, Kalista will be coming in. So now DRX, they can take away some of Kalista's friends on the bottom side of the map if they would like to, but I don't know whether you'd really want to here. Doesn't have Pantheon, so not going to have to worry about that one. Beryl can go towards whatever he wants. Okay, Chovy looking to try and fight fire with fire here. The Emperor of Shurima is going to be locked in. We mentioned both Showmaker and Chovy not necessarily default to Azir type players. It is going to be picked up now.
Yeah. Chovy has played one game of Azir, but I think countless more in solo queue.
Absolutely. I think Ashe is actually very valuable here for DRX if they do want to pick it up. Into the Kalista especially, but oh my goodness, the Aphelios. He's back again.
Yeah. You're picking it in a spot here where DAMWON can go for Kalista Bard again and feel pretty happy against your Aphelios to start it off. Again, there's a lot of great things that can go with the Kalista, so they might just forego that, and if DRX want to ban two of them away, they can just pick, you know, the third one later on. So they're going to go for the Lee Sin here earlier and say, well, you can't, you know, you can't ban out all of these supports. They might focus also on the top lane. We haven't had Jace banned yet. DRX have shown they do not want to play against Nuggery's Jace. Definitely another option here.
Yeah, I think thinning the top lane pool makes a lot of sense. Rek'Sai to be taken away here, as I'm expecting Pyosik to play the Volibear, but Doran could also be doing it. We know that Nuggery had a good game on the Volibear last time around. Trinity Force Volibear was the flavor that he went for. Just making sure that that isolated matchup isn't going to be too much of a problem. Now DRX, what are we going to be taking away? I assume, yep, Jace would make some sense. And then maybe another split pusher. I think Camille would also be a good one to get rid of, just so that they don't fall into the 1-3-1 trap too easily.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good idea. We'll see if DRX do follow that up. And as you mentioned, the Volibear can be thrown into the jungle here. I'm not sure if DAMWON want to ban away two junglers. Maybe take away the one good one that's opt in the response to the Lee Sin and the Rek'Sai, and then go ahead and take away a good pick to go with the Aphelios. Of course, when you take away Thresh, DRX could just say, okay, we're just going to play Nautilus. Or, you know, there's a lot of different things that Keria can play, so I guess they wanted to take away the one thing they were the most scared of in the Thresh. And it's going to be Renekton.
Wow.
That's taken off the board. This might be a great game for Nuggery to come in on that Camille that you mentioned. Let's see how they want to round out their comp.
I'm a little bit worried. A little bit worried that the Renekton was the priority ban. Expecting a support to come through here from DAMWON. And this is fine. Leona can go in and can get out if she has a Kalista by her side. Closing distance onto an Aphelios, definitely a good thing. Keria can head towards a Bard if he would like to. Would not mind that pickup.
Yeah. We see a lot of Trundle and Leona into Aphelios here in the LCK. I think it's just because they both have abilities that can immediately be cast on top of you and really just mess with your ability to do damage. So we see a lot of Leona in here. Beryl, we'll see if it does work out. Not sure how well it's going to do, though, if he cannot stun lock Aphelios with an Azir by his side. Immediately, Doran is going to go for the Wukong here.
Yeah, Tahm Kench to come through from Keria. The last bastion of hope for the Aphelios this time around, but so much AoE present in this DRX comp. As the Wukong and the Azir certainly able to get a lot of work done.
Easy.
Yeah, this is the most comfortable Camille ever.
You were calling this before we got to the second ban phase. Like, this is very obvious alongside of TF as well. It's really good, and we're so surprised that they banned Renekton over Camille.
You'd be super psyched. You'd be psyched to have Renekton in the top lane if you were DRX. Because then you just get to comfortably scale, and then, you know...
And maybe they're thinking too much about their own composition, and they're like, well, we really want to get Wukong here, so we don't want to play against Renekton. But, like, you're giving them something better.
Yeah.
Like, who cares about the one-on-one matchup? You're also not going to have a great time later on. Yes, the Wukong is going to have some fun stuff happening in team fights, but are DAMWON ever going to fight a team fight?
They shouldn't. They're not going to have a lot of wave clear with the 3 portion of the 1-3-1. Ghost not exactly the highest range, but should still be fine clearing wave after wave. DRX are going to have to be pretty careful with where they decide to go for their fights. Because yeah, as the game goes on, I don't know who's going to be able to match the Camille. Certainly not any single person on the side of DRX unless they get themselves very ahead. But that's not the kind of comp that they've built up for themselves. The Aphelios Azir, even Wukong scales very well. Lanes pretty well as well. Wukong, pretty good champion, let's be real. But this comp out of DAMWON, if played correctly, will be very oppressive.
Yeah, I mean, if they're just, going head first into DRX, they can have a lot of trouble because they're up against the Aphelios. Let's say the Solar Flare goes wide. Let's say a couple of abilities miss. Def could definitely carry this in a 5v5. But if DAMWON play to their strengths and they do not try to fight 5v5 directly into what DRX have, they do have a lot of power there. So it's going to be one of these game 3s where we have very different kind of team compositions. We just have to see who's going to play the smarter League of Legends.
Exactly right. As we have a look at some of the rune choices, Pyosik going to press the attack on his jungle Volibear. He's a policeman as well, just making sure that no one is stepping out of line. Doran up there towards the top side against Nogri. This will be an interesting matchup. Grasp of the Undying to come through just to help out the early game for the Camille. We'll see whether Doran is going to be able to outplay Nogri's Camille here. I feel like decoys are very important in this matchup. If you can eat a second E, then you're going to be feeling pretty comfortable. Anyway, bottom side of the map, Tom Kench is back. Timothy Kenshins, if you will, alongside this Aphelios. And Deft is going to have to make us a believer again because his game 2 left quite a lot to be desired. Out of position, not hitting his skill shots, and yeah. Making Aphelios look balanced is sometimes very difficult, but Deft did so quite comfortably.
Yeah. It had a lot to do with the really fed Ashe Zoe.
Yeah.
It's like, you're never coming near either of those champions, but, as we were talking about before, he's going to have a much easier time dealing with champions that are going to be right in his face. Hello. Here's Canyon level 2.
Yep, Chovy going to flash already. Q's going to land. Canyon not going to cast the Resonating Strike. Chovy just has to give his flash away at 2 minutes time into the game.
A little zoom in on the ward there.
Yeah, cool ward.
Yeah, he was able to hop the wall with that one, of course, so he avoided the one.
Avoided the vision, that's it.
And he is going to get behind on clear on the Volibear, of course, but the flash is definitely something that he can return to. This is definitely a very, aggressive way to play Lee Sin, rather than just, clear your whole jungle, maybe be a little bit slower than a Volibear, and then hope to get something done around level 5, level 6. This is like, I'm going to force flashes, look to return, look to set up ganks in the future, and try to get my laners ahead very early on. It's kind of the way that the LPL likes to play, and Ken is going to try to channel that here. He's played 2 games of Lee Sin already. He's on his 3rd game in a row. I feel like he has been slowly getting a bit more consistent.
Yeah, and his last series was fantastic on the Lee Sin as well. I do like his aggression that he does put down. So many of our teams have, like you say, taken a few leaves out of the old LPL book. Showmaker already roaming into the river. With some visions, and have played not quite long enough. Need a bigger sword, I think. This Ghost finds a Ren stack onto Deft with a Pierce. And this lane is going to equalize. So 3 CS in the lead on Ghost side as Nogri, unsurprisingly, to be perfectly honest, is winning this matchup. As Doran goes in for a bit of a trade, holds on to his decoy, and answers back quite nicely.
See that Chovy is not going to have nearly the amount of lane pressure that he would have had with that summoner available. And Canyon's kind of, hanging around like a shark. He's always waiting, but lane's going to be pushed in just now. He'll go over and take his Scuttle Crab is.
There's the Zenith Blade, stunned down onto Carrier here as Onslaught comes through. Deft finds a bit of damage. DRX are going to win that trade. Devour, pretty cool ability, but Zenith Blade going to be up a little bit sooner. Should have a little bit of extra power as Noguri finds big old shield with his passive and pushes this wave all the way into the Wukong.
Yeah. And you could see that Pyosik was able to get back. He was able to pick up some of that jungle item and just get right back into clearing. He's not concerned with attacking any lanes or anything like that. He only wants to farm here, get some items and some levels. The Lee Sin only now going back compared to Volibear, who is taking his Wolves, the second camp, after he already went back. So there's the difference maker we talked about in the trade that you make, essentially directly for Chovy's flash. And we'll see if maybe they can use that kind of priority in the jungle to pick up this first Drake. You see a decent amount of vision around the river so far for DAMWON here, with Beryl going very deep in.
Actually, Scry's Bloom comes out and Beryl doesn't spot the Volibear. His camp's not going to be available in a little while. As we have a look at Showmaker's XP bar halfway towards level 6. A very important time as Noguri's just chilling out underneath Doran's turret. Not exactly an expected result from this particular lane, but Noguri is playing it very, very well so far. 44 CS to 36. And this only gets worse, guys. It does not get better.
Yeah. The Camille is slowly going to have more and more fun in that side lane. And that's what we were talking about, where he is going to have his power. And it's Nuguri on the champion, too, which is always going to be pretty terrifying. The Volibear, after taking the Raptors for the second time, he's just slowly making his way up to the top side, maybe trying to help out that lane a little bit. And Canyon is going to take this opportunity to go ahead and take the Dragon down.
Another Zenith Blade comes in as the Eclipse keeps Beryl alive. Ghost still at full health. Carrier taken down to half. And basically, every time that Zenith Blade comes off cooldown, as soon as Beryl lands it, he gets the cooldown on the Devour. As Pyosik doesn't have level 6, so he's not going to be able to turn off the turret. Doran has his Cyclone available. See whether this gank can actually work. This could be huge for DRX, to be perfectly honest. They need some sort of advantage. Doran just walks up and loses a trade. Pyosik.
Yeah, he's got some health pots, and Chovy here able to push in the wave. Maybe they can do 3-on-1, 3-on-2. But it is TF, so this is kind of dangerous for DRX. I think it's kind of obvious this is happening, too.
Yeah, Hextech Ultimatum going to be available as well, so a lot of funny business here for Noguri as Pyosik is well and truly dead, and they're not going to be able to get a kill back. Showmaker just flashes himself out, and that's what we call a whoopsie here in the business.
Yeah, it did feel very forced from DRX. You know, you were talking about Pyosik's not quite level 6. The dive was not super clean. Now they're trying to get on top of Doran here with a TP.
Yep, teleport is going to come through. Gold card.
Toby's running away.
Yeah, Showmaker holds onto a great sidestep there from Doran as Noguri wants to try and get himself something, but it is just Lee Sin walking into turret range and dying, which is a bit of a problem. Is going to make it a 1-for-1 in the end, but still overall a victory for DAMWON.
Yeah, for sure they're able to run him down that that lane. At the end of the day, Nuguri is able to sit in front of his turret. He has a bit of a freeze setup. I would love to see if he's actually doing it. And it does look like he's got that kind of held there right in front of his turret. But again, would need to confirm. Still about 1,000 gold lead. We're going to take a look at the dive once again. See that Canyon is already here, and it's TM. So it's about to be 3-on-3 right away. And they're not able to burst on anyone. You can see Chovy immediately is like, okay, we got to turn on the Showmaker. And the knock-up, the second one comes on the Showmaker, but he just flashes away, and it's an easy 1-for-0 under the turret. And then they reach for a little bit more. You can see that Chovy just kind of abandons him, says either you get out or, you know, maybe you can trade a kill, but I'm not really going to help out here. And says, I would like to prioritize my lane positioning instead. Nice play by Doran to pick up the kill, the follow-up. As now DAMWON are trying to get on top of this Rift Herald, but DRX are saying absolutely not. This
taking Shelly for a walk by the looks of things. No one on the bottom side. Actually, Ghost is here over the wall. Pyosik going to start off. Shelly once again. Showmaker taking a bit of damage from Chovy. 4 members underneath this outer turret in mid lane. As this could just be a 4v4. Everyone on top of that control ward. Q is going to go wide. Nuguri down as well. The Monkey's still in his lane, so DRX are going to be pushed out for the minute. As okay, Chovy looking for it, does find the Empress Divide over the wall. Showmaker should be dead here. Carrier could be in trouble, but the Devour is brilliant. Onto Chovy, who flashes out of the way of the Solar Flare, and now Beryl could be in trouble. There's a Moonlight Vigil that lands. Thank you very much, Def, for showing that that can happen. This wave is going to head towards this turret, and DRX find themselves a victory.
Yep, that's the Chovy potential. He's able to get in there. He says, well, Showmaker doesn't have flash. So if he's going to be right up against the wall here, I can just scoop him up to my team and get out very easily afterwards by flashing. So flash difference, Chovy identifying the play. He's able to scoop that one in as Canyon is okay.
What's a bottom lane, by the way? I don't like bottom lanes here. Not a big fan as Deft picks up his Draven and Cogmore. We'll take them towards Shelly once again. Canyon started it up. Showmaker is back down here. A lot of vision available here for DRX. As Carrier's on a bit of a walk. There's the kick flash. Carrier could be in trouble. Can eat the grey health though, as now they're turning it onto Canyon. In goes Doran, finds the Cyclone, gets a really nice knock up as Carrier is still saving the rest of his team on like no health right now. And that's in fact the case of everyone on DRX. Def now gets himself out of this brush. Severum doing so much work. The flash forward from Def. And Calibrum at exactly the right time and nails the Q. And now Beryl at about 0. Carrier pops the stopwatch wildcards. Not quite enough. And there are just no health bars on anyone. Another Zenith Blade is going to go wide. This could just be a pentakill for Nuguri. Finds one, finds two. Showmaker's still walking behind turrets. DRX still have a slight man advantage as all that shield came in at exactly the right time for Pyosik. Again, the yakety sack Valdez, but it's exciting.
I don't know, Nuguri. This looks dangerous. He's got Canyon nearby, though. Might have just wanted to stop some backs and try to secure the Rift Herald. At the end of the day, it did look pretty good for DRX that they were able to hold on for this long. And now they're going to lose their own share of minions down here on the bottom side as nobody cares about the bottom lane. We've only cut it off to this little triangle up here around Shelly. And that is going to be a big pickup for DAMWON. More kills going the way of DRX, but a big pickup going the way of DAMWON in the Shelly. And also, their split pushing Camille is kind of getting out of control already. 2-0 and 2. And they're even going to try to maybe go for this. They're going to take down the Scuttle Crab. It doesn't look like Lee Sin is nearby, so they're not going to take the Dragon just yet. But they may want to try to delay it here.
All right, Doran's starting to win a few trades. He got a couple of kills in that fight as well, so Nuguri not as far ahead, and also hasn't been back in a while. Now looking for that back timing where he can. As we're going to have a look at this once again. Take us through it, Valdez.
Well, actually, we have a fight here. Doran's just going to die.
Never mind, I was like settling back, ready for that one. As there's a kickback onto Chovy, who's now finding himself in a pretty rough scenario. But Sansol just come up, and now he's looking for the fight. There's the Emperor's Divide, lands onto 2, but he's dead. And DAMWON are going to be able to grab the 2-for-1 special that's available on Summoner's Rift here today. Another Moonlight Vigil is going to go completely wide. Beryl should be going down, but no. Fate's Call comes in. Solar Flare lands onto Carrier. Beryl's in a bit of trouble. Ghost taking a lot of damage as well as Deft. Should be able to get a double kill underneath this turret, but another Q is going to go wide. Now Pyosik sitting on about 200 health, wanting to try and get one. Noguri's dead on the top side. Take it away.
Here comes Showmaker.
Yeah, Showmaker's double kill, walking around in front of him here. Still feels like it's a dicey play. That minion wave going to be there. Yeah. And Deft still pretty comfortable.
We were talking about some of the scary members of DAMWON. Take a look at Deft right now. 3-0 and 2. Infinity Edge up against a lot of people that are going to be looking to get in his face. This guy has the potential to single-handedly carry if DAMWON do play into DRX's comp here, and he's able to pick up a nice amount of extra gold down on the bottom side at the same time. Love to see the solo kill up on the top side. Nuguri has flash, so
yeah, I don't know what happened there at all.
Yeah,
I think we will get a replay of that one, as we've been denied a few replays. Just a little bit too much excitement that's happening here this game. 15 kills in 14 minutes will do that, as we're expecting a bloody game, but my God, this series has been insane. DAMWON here do have position around this Drake, but there is vision up. Nuguri might have been greeting for the turret, perhaps?
That sounds like a Nuguri thing to do.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's what happened because he died pretty close, you know, as if he had just been dogged down after going for that play. As here comes again.
Yep, and the Destiny is going to be the follow-up there as well. So revenge onto Doran is likely to occur right here. And yeah, I don't think there's going to be anywhere he can go. There's only so many decoys he can have. Nimbus Strike was pretty good there, just to make sure that they had to take as much time as possible, and DRX utilized it to take their first Drake of the game. Infernal Soul once again. Certainly fits the theme of this particular game. DRX currently down by about 1,000 gold. They have a comp that's very happy to scale, assuming DAMWON can't just split the map completely.
Yeah. Azir Felios, obviously, friends in scaling. They're still gonna have to deal with Camille, but we'll have to wait and see how that does develop here in this game. Nuguri is really trying to push the issue early on. A lot of focus by DRX around that one Ocean Drake does mean that after the kill, there's no one really to cover for the turret up on the top side, as this is what happened on the kill.
All right, that'll do it.
Yeah, just not respecting the range with the flash that the Wukong can get on top of you, as there was another kill.
Is that once again Wukong underneath the turret that's about to die, still walking up to the turret and dying? Did he just do the same thing twice in a row? We'll need to check in on. Oh my god! Literally exactly the same thing happened again.
And this time it wasn't TF. It was just the cannon that's just like hanging around. He's like, oh, I guess so. All right, I guess I'll pick up a kill.
That looked like tilt.
He's having a rough time. He's died 4 times. It's double the next player on his team. And it has been difficult. I mean, there's been a lot of fighting around the top lane, so he has been the one guy that kind of gets punished for it. You can remember they followed up after the dive as well for the first kill onto Doran.
Worrying time here for the Wukong. He now has a very long lane to deal with. Nuguri is going to be taking his Krug camp because he didn't have anything to do because the wave is on the side of DRX. I think there's something that you can do that can keep the wave on your side of the map.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never heard of it, actually.
Okay. There was something.
It's Summer.
Ah, right. Yeah, it's too
Maybe it was like Forza? I think someone was mistakenly talking about a different sport, but
yeah. I think you have to heat the wave.
Yeah,
well, you have to microwave the minions before they come down. I think it's something like that.
Yeah, you burn them into the ground as fast as possible.
Yeah,
I think it's something like that.
Oh right, I mean that's what we see everyone doing, so
yeah.
it must be the right thing to do. As Doran does have another wave here. Yeah, see, he's burning it. Burning, burning, burning.
Yeah, he's doing a good job with that fire circle item that he's got. Yeah, ooh. Great job.
It is it's like almost impossible to freeze, to be honest, with a Tiamat, but could have tried a little bit harder than that. So Pyoshik's going to face check. There's a good Zenith blade as immediately Pyoshik holds out and then walks back in, because you may as well. He's a big old bear. And now Canyon looking for more. Nuguri still towards the top side, and Doran's going to be drawn back. Teleport up for Nuguri, down for Doran. 2 minutes until the Infernal Drake, and that will be the next time we'll have a big fight to contend with.
Yeah. Really all DAMWON want to do here is just wait it out, let Nuguri's doing his split pushing, and see if you can potentially, you know, get a bunch of damage down. Nuguri's up 2 levels, by the way, on Doran, so if it did come down to a teleport play, yes, the knockup could be good from Doran, but Nuguri does offer a lot. He's must be very close to that death stance. Would imagine he gets it here after the objective.
Yep, Shirley going to go down. Rift Scuttler should be coming in next for a little bit of that extra gold. And then Nuguri might be exactly there. That death stance. Oh, the cash into the Cull coming through as well. This is a huge Camille.
Yeah, he's kind of out of control right now. And not only him, I mean, Showmaker has also been doing a nice job of farming up. He's 2-1-3. He's looking to get that Lich Bane. There it is. He's got a stopwatch too. This is a really nice time for TF to fight. Even the 3 stacks on his Dark Seal. Death's Dance finish here for Camille. Deft is still incredibly scary. If they can, you know,
so somehow,
if they can somehow protect him, there is still a way for DRX to win this upcoming fight. As Nuguri is not going to run down to the Infernal Drake. He's just going to go ahead and continue split pushing. This does mean that Doran will have a lot of value if a team fight is forced and Nuguri can't get there on time.
Yeah, ulti's still 40 seconds away here for Pyoshik. Going to be crazy important for a dragon fight. 4 seconds, and Canyon is ready just to start it. I don't know whether DRX even have vision in the area, as now Canyon moving on down, walks over a control ward. Chovy not going to be caught out of position just yet. Oh, this vision here, the DRX that I missed, is going to die in full vision of DAMWON.
That was really awkward. That was the, you know, he had 3 out of 3 wards. Did carry it. He placed it down and removed one, and then that one he placed down got removed too.
Oh, no.
That's a nice amount of poking, though, onto Beryl.
Yep, takes a fair bit, as now Doran forced to use his ultimate. Very bad news for this ensuing fight, as now Beryl's going to get Fates called. Good gold card from Showmaker. In the meantime, Beryl going for the re-engage. And not going to find the stun there onto Deft. He's already down to half health, though, as now Doran's trying to get into the fight. Remember, doesn't have ultimate. And that is a big deal. Nuguri waiting off to the side, looking for the flanking play. As the first Infernal Drake has been started here by Canyon, and it looks like DRX is struggling to find their way in to this fight. Half health on the Dragon. Sand Soldiers being set up. Q lands onto Pyoshik. As DRX, they want to make this a 50-50 as Canyon gets a great kick into the backline. Good Devour comes out. Deft is going to be safe for the moment. As there's the Emperor's Divide. Chovy trying to find one back. The Drake is taken by DAMWON. But there's only a 1 for 2 so far in favor of DRX. Nuguri trying to fight against 3 people. Pyoshik in trouble. Nuguri gets underneath his turret. Technically, it is a fight win for DRX, but that Drake is so big for DAMWON.
Every single Infernal Drake is so massive for both teams in this one, so the value is even higher. We were talking about yesterday, it's even kind of double value for the TF, who is auto-attacking so much. You have so many members on your side that can scale up and do tons of damage as the game comes along. The Camille, the Callista, even the Lee Sin. As I'm not sure about these streets, Canyon is nearby, but they're not going to quite go for it. And the same thing on DRX. I mean, Azir Aphelios needs no introduction. They would love, love every single Infernal Drake if they could just get them. And you have to wonder who wins out in this trade. I think it is the Infernal, even though the kills did mostly go over to the side of DRX. This is a very questionable start by Showmaker with the red card, but he commits to it because he does have the stopwatch, but he was too low to actually, you know, get out of there afterwards. So ends up just being taken out by Doran, who is slowly clawing his way back with some extra kills.
Tell you what, it would have been cool if the Wukong had his ultimate, though. So yeah. Unfortunate timing on that particular fight if you are a DRX fan, but really good that DAMWON forced the issue, understanding that that cooldown was going to be very important at that particular moment in time. Both AD carries on about the same clip when it comes to their first 2 item completions. You can see Deft with a bunch more money. Extra Crit Cloak is done. A couple of control wards there as well, and has more expensive items in the Infinity Edge. He's going to be doing a lot. Chovy parks himself towards this turret. Q is going to land. Now Doran, still, I just feel like he's underneath turrets all the time, and it's scary. If you're a DRX fan. Stopwatch completed here for Nuguri. Has a Death Stance as well. He is mega uber far ahead of the Wukong.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Mega uber?
Yeah.
You're okay with that?
Unbelievably largely is probably the one I would have used, but you know, there's very many ways to say it, and he's just going to take a free turret here. And the clock is ticking for both teams in a way. You know, like eventually Azir Aphelios is going to get so insane that I think in terms of scaling, that DRX have the win there, but also the clock is ticking in the side lanes. You know, how much are you willing to give up against the Camille? How far is she going to get ahead? And eventually Showmaker's going to start joining her on the split push, which we've seen a lot of, and that's why we were calling for the Camille alongside TF very early on and was very curious about the Renekton ban. But this is the spot that we are in as DRX is either hanging around the Baron, maybe trying to start some kind of shenanigans here.
Yeah. 65 CS advantage here for Noguri. Feels like it's only extending as this game goes on. Camille is extraordinarily big. You could see that DRX were trying to get vision control around the Baron. Because, of course, if you see a split pusher, then you start an objective that they can't let you take, and hope that they don't destroy your base while you're trying to take it. Is often the question, as Noguri almost gets that hook shot onto Carrier, does flash his way out, and the TF comes through. Immediate cleanse, but the knock-up is pretty good there. Double teleport to follow up. Here from DRX, 1 minute away from this Infernal Drake, and 2 teleports now on cooldown is gigantic for DAMWON's split push.
Keep in mind that Noguri kept his because he started the fight straight up. He's also level 16. This guy is kind of ramping out of control right now. And eventually, you know, Doran, if he wants to try to start fights with his team, he's going to have to be there. He can't teleport into them. But also, if he wants to try to stay in the lane to stop Noguri, Noguri could potentially TP away and start a 5v4. So DRX, I think, are going to have to hold on here for a good 5-6 minutes and wait for those cooldowns to come back. But we do have the Infernal Drake. Let's see how this one does go, as Beryl's going to get caught.
Yeah, possibly caught out of position. There's the Emperor's Divide that they're going to invest very early on in this fight. Good Zenith play to try and get him out, but it's not going to be enough, as now Showmaker throws down the exhaust onto Pyoshik. He's trying to barrel towards this Twisted Fate. Def now with the onslaught, picks up this minion wave, and with 12 seconds to go, DAMWON have decided the Baron is where they want to go. Oh, Def is going to spot it out. That was actually really smart from DRX to make sure that they're not going to be able to grab that one for free. I believe Doran is just going to head over. No, he's not going to start the Infernal Drake. Does walk back to it, so there we go. It is on vision. Beryl is going to be dead for another 5 seconds, and Noguri is on the top side of the map. So it looks like this Infernal Drake is going to go to DRX.
Yeah, it's a pretty good spot here for DRX, actually. Well, let's see the 1v2.
Yeah, Def is trying to get that damage in. A few extra autos, but they're not going to push too far forward. And Infernal is secured, so DRX turning it around just a little bit, and this is much closer than our other 2 games. Oh my god. Speaking of close.
Man, he probably could have at least forced the flash over the wall there with Kalista nearby, but Doran getting out by the skin of his teeth, just barely. That's all really nice news here for DRX because they're able to scale up with this Infernal. We're getting, you know, pretty late in this game. We're getting to 27 minutes now, and their 2 carriers are getting some big items alongside of that hurdle. Yeah.
He's 4,000 gold ahead. How the heck? How are how are DRX still within like 2,000 gold of DAMWON? If that's happening, and there's a Twisted Fate. Nutty. I think the 40 CS lead that Chovy has might have something to do with it.
Yeah, and all the kills that Deft has been able to pick up.
Yep.
I think that 80 carry difference is probably real in terms of the gold. Noguri, he hasn't really been able to make a big, you know, dent in the structures just yet. You know, he hasn't taken out an inhibitor. He hasn't even taken out an inhibitor turret. The top lane has been looking good for split pushes, but because they're fighting around the Baron, it's very easy for DRX to defend that lane, which is why Noguri is down here in the bottom lane with teleport advantage. They're really trying to force the issue in the bottom side.
Well, we're going to zoom all the way out. We're watching Ghost make his way back from base. That's why DRX have started this. Teleport to come through from Noguri. And DRX just wanted to get that cooldown if they could. Showmaker, oh, the flash out from Beryl. Looks like they may have thought that they've caught him here, but Canyon's going to jump in. There's the kickback onto Deft, but Chovy just deletes the Lee Sin. Fate's call here from Ghost. Can they get enough sticks into the members of DRX? Feels like they're just too tanky at the minute, though, and the Cyclone is good. Onto Showmaker. Noguri picks off the Tahm Kench. Deft still alive for the minute. Beryl trying to come back in. Deft taken out by the Camille. Can she just win this fight on her own? Is this a 1 versus 3 pentakill? It could potentially be. Right now, as the flash comes out, not going to find the stun. And Noguri, that was the one mistake you couldn't make, my friend. And DRX are going to be able to grab the ace. And at least the outer turret in mid lane, but maybe just the Baron.
Yep, that's the fight that DRX was looking for. Once again, Beryl gets caught in the front. They're able to pretty much remove him. He gets so low that he's not really able to get any, you know, follow-up stuns afterwards. And it was a 5v5. This is where DRX, we were talking about, this is where they are going to have a much better time against DAMWON, so they take a bunch of kills, they get the Baron, and now they're in a great spot in this game. Yes, Nuggery's getting out of control, but who cares if you keep winning fights like these that DAMWON are handshaking on and saying, yes, I would like to fight you. Canyon on Lee Sin is doing less than 0 right now. he got a kick and died. I mean, the kick did no damage, and it didn't knock anybody up. So that, you know, the Lee Sin isn't a champion right now. Beryl actually eventually does a tiny bit to try to save Ghost, but he goes down. And then Nuggery's like, I am kind of out of control, strong. Maybe I should try to salvage it, but it was a mistake in the end.
Well, the Baron now on DRX. Deft very far forward. Empress Divide from Chovy into the back line. He is going to die, but he grabs 2 for his trouble. And Deft is doing so much damage. Comes out of the death chamber and is able to pick up the mantle that Chovy put down. I love that. Going for that aggressive play, understanding that you can make it worth your while. And DRX continue pushing forward already. 2.5k is the Baron power play. Nuggery still is very scary. Canyon looking for a cheeky little kick, but doesn't have it available just yet. Does have flash, so when Dragon Rage is back off cooldown, it is going to be very scary, but DAMWON just don't feel like they're capable of getting in here. And Nuggery, well, he's decided that he wants to, but there's just too much CC. Goes into that GA very, very easily. You can see Canyon and Showmaker, they're just standing off to the side saying, man, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, and they're just going to try to go for the ends here. I don't know about that, Carrier.
That was an odd move, but he's still alive, baiting them with that gray health, and now it's time for 200 years. We thought we were going to see it in the last game, but we had to wait a little while. Don't know how many years that was, but we're not waiting too much longer for the end of this game. Showmaker wants to work some magic, but he's not going to be able to, and DRX redeem themselves with the 2-1 victory over DAMWON, but damn, it was close.
It was pretty unbelievably close. I think that it really could have gone either way at the end of that fight, or not the fight, the game. But DRX were able to lure DAMWON into a bunch of these 5v5s. It does really feel like Showmaker and Nuggery's biggest weakness, or just DAMWON as a team. They get sucked into these fights where they really shouldn't be fighting. Pyosik is crying tears of happiness. He can barely believe it. It's a huge win for his team right now, so you can understand it. He was able to actually have a really nice effect on the Volibear as the game did come along, but this is what we were talking about in those 5v5s. The Azir, Chovy having that one big play under the turret, and it kind of came as a snowball too. Right after the Baron fight, it was like, now they just run it down mid, and they say, come at us, and DAMWON say, yes please.
Yeah, now we have to donate over a player of the game selection. Valdanalist, do you have any ideas for where you want to place your vote? It's a difficult game because there wasn't a lot of winning that DRX did throughout it. But I think Chovy, maybe?
It's hard. I mean, the solo lane struggled. Pyosik wasn't making it was kind of a team effort. It's really difficult to pick one player.
I mean, the Devours from Carrier were also good, but giving a player of the game to a Tahm Kench, that is a difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
The camera guy seems to think that Chovy's going to win.
I think I just have to give it to Chovy. I mean, there's really like, he was making plays in the end of the game on Azir that had scaled, right? He had a rough laning phase. He died twice early, trying to shore up some of his teammates' mistakes, but he held on. And he did exactly what he needed to do by the end of the later stages of the game. So, got to hand it to him. It wasn't an easy choice, as it was a team effort here in the end.
We're going to have a look at some of the highlights, as it felt like Carrier could tank way more than he probably should have been able to this game. He just seemed to walk around with like 20 health. And 8 gray health exactly when he needed to, as you can see. These health bars, oh my god, it was so close to being the Nuggery hard carry. But in the end, he's the one that threw away the game.
Yeah, it does feel like that a little bit. I think that they're just so eager to fight DAMWON that when you go for split pushing comps like this, you can't have that mentality, but they just could not escape themselves. Nuggery was so unbelievably fed, but they never actually committed to split pushing. I mean, you consider the play around Baron, right? Where it's like, okay, yes, DRX are doing Baron. They have Wukong to teleport in. Who cares? Just 2v1 push down on the bottom side, take an inhibitor, let them take Baron, threaten Nexus turret so that you have a win condition with your split pushing comp instead of just saying, yes, I would love to, you know, to handshake this trade in the 5v5 underneath the Baron when we're already behind. It was some questionable moves from DAMWON for sure at the end of the game. And we have seen teams, even DRX, struggle with compositions like this. There's a reason why some teams don't do well with these comps. It's because it's hard to play.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a finesse style of composition, and it means that you need better macro, and it's not about necessarily being able to push your buttons in a team fight better than your opposition. Because like fights like this, yes, it's a fight around the Drake, but that's exactly how this DRX comp is supposed to play. Whereas DAMWON are supposed to put DRX into positions where they can't make a good choice because the side lanes are places that they're not allowed to be.
Yeah. You can see that Beryl, he gets caught again. I think he did not have a good game on the Leona. But the Leona pick in general is kind of interesting. You want it in team fights against Aphelios, but you don't want a team fight at all with your compositions. I don't know. Let's listen in. They're actually saying, like, what the hell is this? Like, yeah, why is he running into us? Slowly, slowly.
나 갈게. 거리대. 공 가는. 이거다! 와, 나이스. 타기를 진짜 잘했다. 아, 혁경. 아침에 저도 꼈다. 나이스. 고맙다, 팀원들아. 잘했다.
Just thanking his team as Pioshik slowly
crawls underneath the desk. Oh, man. What a match, though. Man, I know so many were wanting this to just be a 2-1. It didn't really matter how it went. I still find it so interesting that DAMWON looked so strong on the day, but DRX at the end of the 2 clutch games that they managed to win just looked like they had the better decision-making, which is not something you'd expect coming out from the team that has 2 rookies that are trying to like get themselves together. And, you know, Doran, who's looked shaky over the last little while, Chovy's going to walk away with back-to-back player of the game, and maybe it's just the Chovy effect that allows DRX to win games.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to get this pick, which was a really good idea. Kerio hops in to save him at the end there. And even though a lot of these fights did not look great for DRX, as you can see, he was kind of the one trying to shore it up in many places. He had very good Emperor's Divides. This one was the most obvious one, where he just hopped underneath that turret. Even if he died, it's still a good play for his team.
Scoops up the bottom lane and makes sure that nothing can really be done. And that was actually the game-winning play. From that point onwards, they could push forward and take the win. Really good stuff from DRX. I find it so hard to like understand what this team is about, you know? Because they lose to KT somehow. KT lose to Sandbox. Like, where does that put like DRX in the pecking order?
Yeah.
Whereas DAMWON have just been on a tear. But we're going to have a chat with Chovy here, so let's throw it over to Jisa.
Congratulations, Chovy. And it was the biggest hype of the week. How do you feel, Chovy, to get a win in this series? I'm just so glad that I was able to, the hard effort from me, turn it into a victory. And I'm just so satisfied with my performance all day. And one of them, the biggest card today was Twisted Fate. What's your thought on this champion? Twisted Fate can give a lot of help in other lanes, and I still think that this is a good champion. So you have to be careful with some of the counter comp into Twisted Fate. Let's rewind to game number 1. It was not an easy game. What was your thought on the matchup, and how did the players manage to push through the hard situations? DAMWON Gaming, they had edge over us in the mid and early game, and we had a comp that's really strong in the late game, so we were indeed behind, but we were looking for the late game power spike, and we were trying to punish their mistakes. But game 1, it was so close. Going back and forth all throughout the game. It was truly a nail-biter. So what was game number 1 and 3 like for you? Well, game number 1, I liked it because I played well on my Twisted Fate. So, I mean, there were some mistakes, but in the end, we were able to pull it out really well, so I'm just happy. In game number 1, when you guys were going for Baron, actually, the DAMWON players were going for a backdoor. When we are doing the Baron, we were just saying that they're coming for our base, so some of the players were looking for a recall angle. So we are just all on the same page. Moving on to game number 3, it was not easy once again, especially Doran. I'm pretty sure he had a lot of burdens on his shoulder, and he got bullied a lot. Was he really reliable as a top laner today? I think he held on really well up against DAMWON's Twisted Fate and Camille. Yeah, as a top laner, that was not an easy game, and he might feel really angry about himself or the whole performance that happened today. Was he feeling okay today? I'm not really sure about his condition, but he did say that he has a bit of a stomachache. But I'm pretty sure he's feeling okay because we got a win. You, with CV Max, you guys are so strong up against DAMWON Gaming. As if you guys are the mind block of DAMWON Gaming. Are you guys confident whenever you guys are facing DAMWON Gaming? DAMWON, their top and mid, their lane is really strong, and they are really good at snowballing with that lane phase lead. But me and Showmaker, we are both really strong mid laners, so I will not just let them snowball one-sided throughout the laning phase. So I'm pretty sure that we kind of block one of their winning recipes. After game number 3, I think Pyosik was in tears. What did the players say after the game? I actually didn't know he was crying. I guess he was just overwhelmed with so many emotions. Like what? I guess Pyosik, yeah, he was really doing hard work all throughout the split, so I guess that was the kind of an emotional moment for him today. In order to secure your spot in the first place, you have to get a win up against Hana Life Esports. We really have to do our best to round out the series really well in the end. Even though we got a win up against DAMWON Gaming, I'm sure that if we let our guards down, we will lose to Hana Life Esports, so we will keep doing our hard work. So this will be the end of the interview with Chubby, the solo POG of DRX, and I'm going to pass it back to our casters. Thank you!
Thank you so much, Ji-sun, as usual, for the interview translation. Great to hear from Chovy there. Valdez, you and I are now in the doghouse. We made our DAMWON prediction on the POG state, and Ashley Kang has made sure the rest of the world has remembered that as much as possible.
I mean, the series could have looked entirely differently if DAMWON didn't throw game number 1. Just saying.
Absolutely.
So, also, game 3 was definitely very winnable, but it was a close series. So I do like the way it played out. It wasn't a stomp either way. It does mean that the top of the table is, in fact, very close. On a different game, DAMWON wins, and I think both Gen Z and T1 have good chances to win, as they have against some of these teams in the future, especially once it comes down to best of 5. So it's just really exciting stuff for the LCK. I think these teams at the top some of the drafting, some of the Lee Sin picks, the Renekton bans, the Camille 5v5ing, that needs to stop. But other than that, looks pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're moving in the right direction. Absolutely. And speaking of which, we're going to move in the direction of our second match. We're going to have to wait a little while, but only about 30 minutes or something, because we had a 3-game series here for our first one. But it shouldn't be too much longer before we're back with our next match of the night. Getting so close to the beginning of round 2 as well. Yeah. So all of these games are starting to mean more and more as everything shapes together. So we'll see you after this short break for more LCK.